beauty of it, I think.
Yeah, like I'll have a couple people who will come up to me and say, oh, I've never played a sport. But in an hour, they're actually playing and they're like enjoying it and they're becoming confident in it, which is, you know, my kind of like catchphrase is like, in pickleball, we'll spend 6 minutes and you'll know how to serve, right? Mm-hmm. In my tennis lessons, I have a 6-week clinic on teaching the serve in tennis. So just the serve, not the rallying part, you know? So like, it's so much more easier to pick up.
Don't even get me started on tennis scoring, dude. If you think pickleball scoring is confusing.
I think at first pickleball scoring is more confusing, but it makes more sense.
Yeah. One thing that I tell beginners is like, say the score and then say, I'm a 1, I'm a 2. Because then it, for them, and like, especially for me when I was learning, that helped really like break up the score.
Definitely.
You're like, wait, what are all these 3 numbers? You're like trying to crunch math problems. You're like, that Zach Galifianakis meme where like all the numbers are like in front of you. And you're like, oh, what the heck? But yeah, so saying like 3, 2, I'm a 1 or something like really broke it up for me.
And one thing I do is in my lessons, I save the scoring part until the end.
Oh, okay.
They're already hooked on playing. They're invested in it themselves.
And then the score is just something like, oh, I'll just get over this weird, confusing part. Because if that's the first thing you learn, you're like, I don't want to do math problems when I'm trying to play a sport.
So somebody I worked with, he used to teach the score first. And he had people just walk out when he was talking about the score at the very beginning.
Oh, geez,
Yeah, so once they're invested and they actually want to know the scoring because they want to play, right?
Exactly.
And they basically think, oh, I have to know the scoring to play because I really want to play because this has been fun. You know?
But I also kind of maybe he was thinking like, oh, when you start a game, you have to say the score. So just thinking chronologically from the game. But you're starting with like the most fun first, and then just going down from there, and then explaining like weird kitchen rules and stuff like that.
I wait till I get them hooked.
Yeah.
Throw them the hard stuff.
So and then up to what level do you teach? If like you start at like 2.0, like 2.5 people.
Yeah, so I teach a couple low 5.0 players. So I have a really big range. I definitely enjoy the 4.0 plus teaching more because you're teaching more advanced stuff. And I feel like there's not a lot of people super qualified to teach to those highest levels, right? Like right now, like anybody can get certified to teach pickleball. But you know, I feel like I have some certain experiences that, you know, others that a very select few have had, you know, starting a couple of years ago and seeing how the game has changed over the last few years.
And the higher level you go, the harder it is to find people to play with, and probably even harder to find to teach you as well.
For sure. With where we're at right now, if you're going to be a high level or pro pickleball player, you need to have a certain degree of self-awareness to kind of help you see what you need to work on, you know, holes in your game, stuff like that. So,
do you think filming yourself playing like competitive matches helps with that?
Definitely the competitive matches. I don't film like every practice session or anything like that, but it's definitely good to like watch yourself every once in a while just to, you know, see if things have changed. Or it's really fun for me. Like I've been recording matches for years now.
Of you playing.
Of me playing, and it's been really fun to see my evolution as a player and how things have changed, how the game has changed since I started playing. So.
What have been like some of the big jumps that you're like, what was that? Like you watch the film and you're like, what was I doing?
well, big. Are you saying changes in the game or changes
in your game? Changes in your game. That
definitely just staying relaxed and calm and knowing when to just, you know, dink it and not. I mean, like most tennis players, when I first started, I was, you know, just balls to the wall. I'm going to drive everything. I'm going to hit hard. I'm going to crash in. I learned very quickly once I was playing against good players that doesn't work. Right? And one thing that was a little bit different in my evolution compared to like newer players is that when I first started playing, paddle technology was not where it is now, right? It was very hard to swing hard and still keep the ball in. Whereas now the paddles are so gritty where they can grab the ball. And I think that's probably been the biggest change in the game.
And the overall
is the paddle technology. It allows players to be able to swing big with different kinds of grips and just make the ball move in ridiculous ways. Where before, if I took this big swing with a semi-Western grip, ball's gonna go straight to the ground. Right?
Yeah.
Now it's not going to. So.
And now, like, since those balls are coming at you with so much more topspin, that's tuning your defense game.
Definitely.
And then how much of the paddle do you think plays a part in your offense game?
So I'll kind of